shit out on my end?
Welcome to
Okay, there it
late
goes.
night.
Yeah. Late night.
So,
It
and just
is
to prove
very
that it's
late.
late night, I have a bottle of Nazi acetone here, aka
Nazi
Ukrainian vodka.
acetone.
I mean, that sounds about accurate from how you described it.
Yes, and so I'm going to do all of you a favor and drink it so that way you don't have to.
I got to
I've had
tell
a lot
you.
of. What was that?
So before we came on, I told Nicole that we were going to be doing the show, and she said, "Well, why are you doing it so late?" And I said, "It's the late show, so we do it late."
So, Nashvadovia to Ukraine's fall and defeat.
Can we just stick with Nazi defeat? Can we just stick with defeat of fascists? I don't care if Ukraine falls. I just care that the fascists go away.
I mean, we
That's
have
my
plenty of
preference.
them here.
Why did I think that was a good idea? Or that was going to be fun. I forgot how bad it actually tastes.
Yeah, why did you do that?
Because I thought it would be funny. Because like I thought that the grimace would last for like 2 seconds, and then it would be laughing about it. And I'm like, no, that was actually disgusting.
Like, this is gross. Can't wait to try it.
Yeah, I mean basically, because it's like, oh hey, yeah, because like it's one of those situations where I guess it's kind of like I don't know. I guess like it's one of those things where it's like that one restaurant that you hate going to because the food is always bad. And you're like, surely it wasn't as bad as I remember it being, right? And then you
every
go,
time it is.
like it's even worse than you remembered.
Right.
That was basically what you just witnessed live.
That checks out. It really does.
Yeah, unlike my sanity.
Or like when somebody says, "Smell this. It's awful." You know, like, "Oh, this stinks so bad. Smell it." And then you're like, "Why would I do that? That sounds really stupid." Like, why?
I mean, sometimes like train wrecks are just the best things to go through.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you would know best, I feel like. Am I wrong?
Look, I am a certified train conductor.
Wade's here.
How's it going, Wade?
Oh, wow. Long time no see.
I miss you, buddy. I miss that gruff voice.
What happened to your definitely not main account? Did it get zucked?
Huh?
I'm assuming that you were asking Wade.
Yeah.
I believe that it did get zucked, yes.
That.
Pretty much everything Rob is doing right now is getting zucked. In the middle of a conversation we were all having the other day. In the middle of it. Just dropped off the face of the planet.
Yeah, that wasn't the only conversation I was in the middle of either. Like,
oh, sure.
Oh, God.
Yeah. And then, like, you know, in the UPM chat, I'm getting like, well, okay, because of the UPM chat, I was getting a bunch of text messages like, hey, where'd your Facebook go? Did you get zucked? Like, yeah. Nice. Yeah, I did.
Again.
Again.
Yeah,
that's like the second time this month. Maybe third. It's not even February.
Fucking expect that to happen, you know, but
good evening,
fun times. But yeah, that's
so this Rhode Island cider that I'm drinking is far tastier than your Nazi vodka.
Look, I'm fairly certain that like you could like literally have like some random person piss in the shot. It would be more tasty than what I just drank. Like that was absolutely awful.
I'm drinking the unValentine's beverage. I can't disclose which company provides it, but it is the unValentine's carbonated water. It's delicious. It's blackberry and champagne flavored. That's peak capitalism right there.
That is peak capitalism.
when they've gone through so much effort to make a holiday just to sell shit, only to be anti that holiday in
Yep.
order to sell shit.
Yep. Because welcome to how this shit unfortunately must work.
That's clever. I like it. I decided to mix that with my dark chocolate orange slices this evening. So I'm very bougie.
Mm.
I can see it.
It's like the only thing that's holding you back from being even more bougie is like good cocaine.
I think I had that conversation with you. I've never had cocaine before in my life.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we
That's
did.
what
We
I'm
did have
saying.
that conversation.
Oh,
I am a little bit disappointed.
I'm a little bit disappointed.
I mean, I don't know a guy.
I don't have that kind of money. I can't afford that kind of addiction. Though it would streamline the weight loss. So,
See, so like that's actually like one of the things I feel like is kind of a myth about Coke. It's like every person I've known who's on Coke, like there's like various body types. Like not everyone is skinny. Although I will say all the people I know who are on meth, especially those who are addicted to it, are extremely fucking skinny.
so you're saying I'm shooting for the wrong drug.
I
I'm
think
not
what
gonna
she
tell
was
you to do
also
that.
trying to say is meth is more affordable.
Dear God, no! Don't guys, don't do meth. Don't do meth and don't do heroin.
No. Well, here's the thing. I was on Adderall for like 2 years, and
No
I
appetite.
realized that is not the drug for me. If you already are anxious as fuck, don't take Adderall. That is
Yeah.
not the right drug for you.
That's a
Skip
good
that
point.
one.
That's actually a good point. Granted, I've never tried any illegal drug, just to be clear, but that would make sense.
Always prescribed.
Oh, it was
The
prescribed.
Adderall was
Yeah, well,
prescribed.
you see,
Yeah.
I haven't got a prescription, so I have never tried an illegal drug.
I have a horrible attention problems if you can't tell by talking to me.
Yeah. I think I probably do too. I just like never been officially diagnosed with it, so it's just like yeah, it's like they're like yeah, good fucking luck.
Squirrel. So yeah, but so the great thing about Adderall is like it lets you hyper focus on things. So I used it for grad school classes, but and it worked if I was focusing on the grad school classes. But if I was thinking about literally anything else, which I did, and I ended up crying in the corner like nobody likes me, everybody hates me. Like why?
Are you getting some worms?
Worms?
Yeah, because no nobody likes me, everybody hates me. I'm gonna eat some worms.
I don't know that. Is that a poem? Like, am I?
I have no idea where it's from.
Wow.
I've definitely heard it before.
It sounds like Bukowski. Only there's not enough swear words in it.
Okay, I guess it's a song apparently.
I'm gonna eat some fucking worms because my life sucks. I'm gonna go gamble on horses and fuck some bitches. That is Bukowski.
Oh, also I do have some good news to share that I feel like bragging about to the world. I got my second support letter in so I can get my titties done.
Yay! Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm excited to see them.
Me too.
Oh my god.
You guys, like we just need to like start up like an OnlyFans for for We Are Many OnlyFans. It's gonna be like and then it's just gonna be like just my fucking titties.
Just for We Are Many calendar, you know.
Okay, so fun story.
Well, I mean, all you got to do is like pose with the Soviet flag.
Oh, that's sexy as hell.
I have one of those, so we're
I
good
know.
to go. Which actually, so I was in a calendar a couple of years ago, back in 2020, and I was the and basically like I think I was October, is what I was. So let's see if I can find the link. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so I was the October girl, and I was actually wearing like my Soviet flag. No, I was June. I was wearing the Soviet flag bikini that I have.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, let's see. Is there a way to like for me to share my screen?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
The
I'm gonna
share
do
screen
that.
button.
So yeah, this is it like working or is it not working? There we go. But yeah, that
Wow.
is me.
Well, color me red. Let me tell you,
Okay, now I gotta stop screen sharing so we don't get fucking zucked.
I don't think that'll do it.
I mean, I'm here, and it
On the
follows me.
We're probably already gonna get sucked anyway. So I on the calendar idea. I want so there. You remember when Abercrombie and Fitch, the president or whatever, came out and was talking about how like, oh well, only skinny people should be wearing my clothes. Does anybody remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Only cool skinny people. So I actually had a pair of Abercrombie and Fitch pants that miraculously fit me. I just had to roll up the bottom legs of them. It's clearly meant for much taller people, but I but I owned them anyway. So when he came out and stated that his clothes were only meant for skinny people, I because frequently there are models in front of their store shirtless. I went to the mall, and for $60 bottle of cologne, I could stand out in front of their store with no shirt on, with my with my Abercrombie pants and some flip flops from Old Navy, and spray people. It's fantastic because I have clearly the model they want out.
That's
Imagine me
though.
with my fat, hairy chest, just stomach flopping out, just spraying people with cologne. Welcome to Abercrombie and Fitch. Excellent.
Oh god, I love how this just like always descends into.
I like that we lost a couple people watching after I said all that stuff. Like, oh, no thanks.
No, you're not going to bait me into putting my half naked self back up on the screen.
Our viewership will go right back up again.
It's like I accidentally leak some of my OnlyFans content. You'll never know what Talia does behind closed doors. Only one way to find out in theaters.
Here's the problem: that everybody knows what you do behind closed doors. You share it pretty much every week. So
but the thing though is people actually don't know what I do behind closed doors.
That's true.
What was that?
That's true.
Yeah, because wait, did I get a new subscriber?
Did you just now? Oh, congratulations!
15 hours ago.
Picture. Oh, I thought it was the picture brought it on.
Oh shit! Apparently, someone decided to fucking who the fuck is that?
I don't know. I can't see it.
Yeah. All I know is that now I have $50 in my OnlyFans, and I had 8 yesterday or last my chat.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. That's a pleasant and hot surprise, if I'm being honest with you. But okay, I'm not gonna object.
I find money very sexy. I'll be honest with you. As a communist, I feel like I shouldn't feel that way.
Yeah. It's like a case of where I'm definitely not a rolled up one. But it's just kind of like a situation where it's I mean, $1 bills are very fucking sexy to people who work in certain fields.
So
although
Wade,
I would rather have 100% on me, but
Wade said that vegans are also thin, but it might be more socially acceptable to be a meth head.
I mean,
they're definitely less pretentious. I'm just saying.
So okay, so it's
we're gonna get canceled.
Where
Absolutely.
Do you guys want to hear something that's probably gonna get me canceled? I agree.
Yeah, we're on a roll. Let's keep it going.
So basically, it's one of those situations where it's look, if you want to be vegan, that's totally on you, right? Don't guilt me for eating meat whenever I make way less money than you do, and I literally cannot afford to be vegan. That's the issue that I find a lot with a lot of vegan culture is the fact that it's oh yeah, you're being evil by doing this, and I'm tell me where else I can go and get a $2 fucking burrito that's vegan with protein, because it's I go to fucking Taco Bell because that's what I can afford. I don't go there because I want to go there.
Now, you know who else was a vegan? Hitler.
Oh,
Hitler
and do you know
was
and do you know who else is Hitler?
What?
Do you know who else is Hitler?
Who?
Hitler.
Definitely not the person who engineered the Ukraine coup.
Hello.
I was gonna say Zelensky, so I'm like, nah, that wouldn't be right.
Ooh. You still said it. You still said it.
True. I can't wait to get a call from the disciplinary office at the law school on Monday.
What's this about you in a bikini on a podcast talking about how everybody else is a Nazi?
And then this is when then that's when I say, I know when you were in my DMs last week.
Oh,
Damn.
yeah.
It's I will say that it is kind of interesting to people who I run into on my stream.
Hi, Emily.
Yeah, so actually the funniest story from honestly probably the funny story from the entirety of my cam career that was the most hilarious for me is that uh basically my dad's former boss popped up in my cam stream, and you may ask, how do you know that it was him? Because he took me private and turned his cam on, and I'm like, that is a very distinctive face. And yeah, I have blackmail on my dad's boss, basically.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
I
So,
should say former boss, but still.
well, no, it's too bad.
Still though.
Hopefully, you didn't get fired. You had an opportunity to keep him employed.
Yeah, exactly. Just be like, hey, yeah, so I have this. I'm sure the FBI would not want to see you doing this with your security clearance online.
Yeah, this seems awfully risky.
Yeah, I was like, dude, that's fucking dumb.
I
He was like fucking like sitting there like with his legs spread out, like literally with a dildo on a fucking machine going in his asshole. I was like, dude, like you're just like starting off with this, like that's kind of impressive, but yeah. Don't be a cam girl, guys. Don't be a cam girl.
well, I don't think I'd be very good at it.
I'm not very good at it.
Yeah, but I feel like you're still ahead of me. And with your new titties, I mean,
I'm gonna be
sky's the limit, Talia.
I'm gonna be
Sky's the
making
limit.
fucking bank. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I will be making bank at that point.
You must be,
Yeah, those machines are very much not
cheap.
cheap. Yeah, I think they're like $1,000 or something like that. For
Cheapest one I found is 800. Not that it looks.
Wade said I would fail at being a cam girl.
Like it's one of
Nah.
those jobs like where it's simultaneously fun but also so mind-numbingly stressful because like you have to be able to open a customer interaction, be able to close it usually within 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Yeah, because like basically like, it's a very high, at least on StreamMate, which is where I stream at. It is a very high pace thing where like customers come in and you're like, oh hey, cool, like
Literally.
how's it going tonight? Like what kind of stuff are you into? And you have to like feel them out in a very short time frame and then get them to go private or exclusive with you, or at least tip you.
Yeah.
Especially like if you have a lower traffic room, like a lot of solo girls do. Yeah. It's fucking stupid fast paced. Usually,
go on.
Usually, I say that if I don't get someone to go private with me in the first 2 minutes, they're not going to be going private.
Really?
Or if they do, then I'm going to make a shit ton of money.
Yeah, I imagine.
Yeah, because like I would much rather have fewer people take me private for longer than have a lot of short privates, because basically it's a case of where it's like I like providing a service that I'm like, oh hey, this is wholesome, right? At least as wholesome as it can be on the internet, and not
That's
just
something
like,
I can claim, as I have short privates. That was the best dad joke ever. Or the worst. I don't know what to.
I mean, but if it's the worst, then it is the best. That's how dad jokes work.
I guess so.
Okay, look, all I'm going to say is that you're speaking with the dominatrix, at least on cams. Like you got to be careful with that.
No, Wade. I did not say it first. That's the sad part.
Wow. Wow. So, like, not to like take from the lightheartedness,
Oh
right?
shit!
But
God damn it! Now we gotta get into the serious stuff.
Every fucking time. Some
every time,
jackass.
well, you know, tell the world to quit pissing me off.
Hey, world, quit pissing Rob off. You fucking twat.
No, okay, so like
It's not working out.
the 5 cops in Memphis,
Ugh.
right?
I knew this was coming.
So how would it not? How would it not?
I know.
They got arrested yesterday and they were out on bond today. Right. But yet the body cam footage of the murder of Tyree Nichols was released this evening. And I have not watched it. I don't get down with that, you know, trauma porn shit.
Right.
We all saw the picture of him in the hospital. We know what they did. Right. But they were fired and then out the next day. And like their bonds were, you know, $350,000 a piece.
Paid.
Yeah.
Who paid that?
And the other
The
thing I'm
police
getting into
union?
The
is like
union
that's
more than
usually
likely.
10%. So like that would be 35 grand.
Well, still. I mean, do you think the average, you know, run of the mill beat cop can, you know, just like save 35 grand?
Depends on where they're from. You kidding me?
Fair.
Boston? Have you seen they post the salaries of these police officers, these state cops, publicly. They post them. I think the Boston Globe publishes them, like the top paid police officers. Some of these people, some of these officers, I stretch to call them people here. Some of these officers are making hundreds of thousands of dollars, almost
That's
$500,000 a year.
Yeah, it's insane. Like, I don't understand. Like,
Unbelievable.
yeah,
Imagine making
there's-
$500,000 as a state officer in Massachusetts.
But, you know, then for the police department to be like, oh, well, we expect a response, but keep it peaceful. Like, why didn't your fucking officers keep it peaceful?
Yeah, we're the ones supposed to keep it peaceful. Exactly.
And as Wade pointed out, and I mean, I did not watch it. Wade said he did watch it, and he did cry out for his mom. I believe that was said by the parents and by the attorney for the family.
Right.
And it's not the first time that that's happened. So one of my comrades pointed out that also watched it. I did not. Wanted to bring attention to a moment in the video where one of the 5 cops beating this man had to take a break. He was winded.
I can't fathom that logic. Woo, guys, step in for me. Tag, you're it. Like, what the? Wait, at what point is that? Are we going to say this is just too much? I have to tell you, yeah, I agree with Austin. I see these people and I think about my kids, and I think about if this happened to my kid, would I be as peaceful as their community has been, as these parents have been?
like,
I don't think that I would. You know, when they burned down the police department after Floyd, I thought, well, that's just not enough. You know, I really felt like I would have done the same thing. And people were like, oh, that was violent and aggressive. I was like, what are you talking about? I know this is terrible. This is a terrible idea that, you know, that violence should be met with violence. And I'm probably going to get sucked momentarily for saying this. But when the law doesn't apply to these people, it doesn't apply to anybody.
yeah, and it's kind of like, and I'm gonna be going off a little bit on a bit of a historical jaunt here, so to speak, right? Which also, one thing I do want to point out real quick is that Nevada courts actually struck down qualified immunity that is one important thing that when you talk about, it's like we are seeing qualified immunity start to finally disappear, right? But I think like one of the main things that we don't really talk about is the fact that like political and like professional accountability in this country is one of those things like isn't really a thing. And the perfect example of that is actually with Nixon, right? He broke the law clearly. He
Right.
admitted to it, and yet here he was still pardoned by President Ford because, well, this is to allow the country to heal.
Yeah.
Like, you see what I'm saying there?
But well, first of all, President Ford was a fucking moron, who probably probably had Velcro shoes because he never learned to tie them. It's remarkable that man didn't choke on a balloon before the age of 5. It just is beyond me how he was allowed to make it that far in his life, and how he became a president. Somebody had to fuck up so bad,
Well, I mean, we've also had Trump and Biden. I mean, we've set the bar real low for a while now. George W.
Yeah, but you know what? Not even close, I don't think. As far as I see George W. and I think, he's kind of goofy, but he had some business acumen. I don't know. Donald Trump definitely. He made his living screwing people. He was clever enough to do that.
Billions and billions and billions.
I mean, Biden was smart enough to suck off the whole military-industrial complex teat for as long as he could, and still is. Yeah, I mean, Ford was just a moron.
Okay, so back to the
Listen, if any other country was doing this, we would find a reason to invade them.
So one quick thing I do want to mention, since we were talking about the newly released body cam footage, I just made the mistake of watching it. That is the most heinous police video I've ever seen.
I mean, yeah, really. I mean, well, I'm sure you probably watched like a short version of it because it's like all in all, there was like an hour of footage.
Yeah, this was just like a 2.5 minute
5
cut.
officers.
Yeah, like,
and I mean, the things that I've heard about it from Wade in the comments and from a few comrades online, I'm glad that I didn't watch it. I mean, everybody's George Floyd died. This is beyond that even.
Yeah, because like, it's one of those things where it's like George Floyd, that was one cop putting, and of course, obviously the cops didn't stop Chauvin, but at the end of the day, like that was one cop with his leg on the neck of a guy, right? This was just 5 people in a coordinated, just like almost like orgy of violence is the best way I can describe it.
What justification can you possibly have for
there
this?
Is none. And
okay, first of all, the whole thing stems from a traffic stop, supposedly for reckless driving. The police department, using the body cam footage and the dash cam footage, cannot verify the claims of reckless driving.
And so the other thing too is it's like if it's reckless driving, okay, cool. Like pull the guy out of the car, like get him in. If it was really that bad, like if it is reckless, like that's usually something that you're like, hey, look, like we're gonna cite you for it, or maybe arrest you for. Not immediately go up and just like pull someone out of the car for. That's number one. But number two is whenever I'm watching any sort of like this footage or whatever, I'm always looking for a way to be able to justify the cops for it. Because I'm like, okay, like this is what the arguments are going to be coming out of this, right? Because this is how the court system
anticipate. Right.
I can't see anything in there that I can use to say, yeah, the cops are justified in doing this. Like they pull the guy up, and like they literally hold him back.
Although
like
I don't believe like a single word. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, like they literally like basically put him into like what almost appeared to be a full Nelson. Now this is from security cameras footage, so it was grainy. And like another cop just comes running up and just punches him right across the face. And, like you can literally see his head snap back. after they picked him up off the ground.
Yeah, I mean, this is a good point here. When internal organs are damaged, it's a gang-style beatdown because
Yeah.
everyone is trying to get their hits in where they can. These guys weren't trying to enforce the law.
No.
They were
No,
out for
even that's what
blood.
I was gonna say. Even the police chief, as much as I think that her words were empty, as much as I think that she was just trying to cover her own ass, she was very blatant. Like, no, this is not police protocol. We can't even verify the reckless driving to begin with. I mean, he got tased, he got pepper sprayed, and beat down by 5 men. He died in the hospital from his injuries 3 days later. For those of you that don't already know that, I mean, they waited, what was it, going on 20 minutes to even, like, call for medical help. There were points where they sat him back up to continue fucking beating him.
I can't.
And if you look at the picture that is provided versus the picture of him in the hospital bed, you can't even tell it's the same fucking guy.
Yeah, like I haven't seen a face that swollen in a very, very long time. Like,
I don't.
And sorry for getting all dark on you guys, but like this has been.
I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, like this is something that we need to talk about because this is.
It's got to come out.
I would be willing to venture and say that this is probably the most heinous police murder we've ever seen.
Yeah, Corbin.
Right. Like, I mean, imagine if Emmett Till had been legit killed by police.
Yeah, like that's literally what this is.
Yeah. Corbin said here, even if he wasn't cooperating, and this was my point earlier, even if he wasn't cooperating, you have 5 guys there. What are you going to say? He's resisting arrest? You have 5 people. He's down. He's being beaten. Like, I don't know. I don't know what there's nothing. There is nothing here that is justifiable. It is the most tragic thing that I have heard in a very long time. And I hope that instead of just kind of packing this away and saying, well, it's still too cold for protests, we really get out there and start moving and protesting this, because this is just too fucking much. And Biden has not made it any better, even though he has promised he would.
Yeah. And as far as the protest tip goes, there is protests tonight in Detroit. There was a protest earlier tonight in Providence. There's a protest tomorrow in Hartford, I believe. It might be New London. I could be wrong on that. There's a protest tomorrow in Arbor. And those are just, out of like people that I've talked to today. I would imagine that it's like that all over the country. I mean, I'm hoping anyway that it's like that all over the country like it was at George Floyd. This is even fucking worse.
Yeah, like,
and Corbin just said if we let this slide, it will only continue to escalate. That's what we've seen since we got off this after George Floyd.
Right. Yeah. Right. I mean, we had a little bit of a downtime where the media wasn't talking about this kind of stuff, because we had Breonna Taylor and her killers, her murderers, sort of held accountable, and I feel like that was like, okay, well, now racism is gone. Now police brutality doesn't exist.
Well, that's the whole all over MO.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
we put a Black Lives Matter fucking flag out front for a couple of months. Racism is gone.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And now they replaced it with a Ukraine flag. I mean, how fucking ironic is that?
I think it's I remember, I'm not sure after, and this is the really tragic part, right? I don't know which killing it was after, but I remember watching this video of this woman going on this epic rant about how the social contract was broken and how we are all so very lucky and so very fortunate that people of color in this country have managed to be so peaceful in their response because that social contract is gone. It's done for them. They don't have one. And I thought, that's so true. If I had to worry that my kid was going to get killed by the people that I pay to protect them, I don't know what law would apply to me anymore. No law would apply to me.
Like,
I don't understand why people still are just so complacent about it, so comfortable with it.
If I'm being honest with you, I think it's a large part of it, at least now, is that a lot of people have gotten numb to it.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I remember for a while, it was like, oh yeah, another police killing, another mass shooting.
Right.
And over time, it's like, oh yeah, like this keeps on happening, so we become numb to it. We forget how much of an issue it is. I sometimes will be honest, like there are some days like where the numbness does overwhelm me. Like I haven't followed this case as much as I should have been.
Well, yeah, and I mean this case and the Cop City protests are kind of like what broke me out of that. I mean, that was an indigenous, non-binary act on indigenous land with the permission of the elders of the tribe. Trying to stop a massive cop training facility that's on sacred land that is controlled by the tribe. It's being built with, like 30 billion or something like that in taxpayer funds, and then that and like corporate donations and shit. And it's intended to be used as like a nationwide urban warfare training facility for police.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's again. It seems like the militarization of the police force has not slowed down at all. But why does that shock anybody? I mean, we had this conversation before. I think even in the last show about why are we surprised that the military-industrial complex's biggest champion for the last however many years, Joe Biden. Why are we surprised that it's expanded under his presidency? That's crazy.
Like we shouldn't be.
We shouldn't be.
Let's be honest, we really fucking shouldn't be.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of thoughts going through my head right now, right? I think you guys can probably tell that. And
it hurts.
It does. And it's one of those other situations too where, because like I think I've established on here before, like I know a lot of cops, right? And one of the struggles that one of the things that I really struggled with a lot when everything was going down in the past was like, like these are my friends, but the fucking system that they're upholding
that's the point that I keep trying to drive home to, right? Like maybe, like, for example, your friends might be decent people that are cops, but at the end of the day, the system that they're upholding is what we're fucking.
Well, I'll go a bit further. There was a police officer, a former police officer, which I guess is important to note, on NPR after the whole. I'm sorry, my God, it's terrible that so many of these have happened that I forget the names. Young man who was a cook at a school got shot in his car after announcing that he was carrying. Police officer went on to NPR, former police officer, went on to NPR and talked about how absurdly undertrained this police officer was. That if they were trying to be safe, they wouldn't have approached the car the way that they did. That it was not just not protocol, but that the officer, if they were really feared for their life, weren't approaching the vehicle to note that, right? So you would approach it from the side, and come at it, like against the car,
Yeah.
and come up to the window. Instead, he was walking out and walked over to the window and stood in front of it instead of standing to the side of the car. And it just is and they were pointing out all of the failures that happened along the way, that
Yeah.
this was so bad
Yeah.
that
Because
this
like the other
person, this
thing
trainer
too,
doesn't care.
yeah, because like basically, it's like we're told, oh hey, it's like if you're carrying a gun, like keep your hands on the steering wheel and all that other stuff, right?
Right.
And then you have these fucking cops who aren't trained right. Like when I got pulled over a few weeks ago, it was fine for me because like I was lucky, like I had some well trained officers who are the ones who pulled me over.
Mm,
Um, and it could have been a very different happening if
yeah.
those officers not been well trained when I told them I was carrying.
Well, the point that I was trying to make by bringing this whole appearance of this officer, whose name I wish I'd remembered, uh, Fernando Castile. That came up.
Oh, Philando
Yeah,
Castile.
yeah. I'm sorry, but my brain is not fully functional this evening. But I finally figured out who it was, and I recall that whole incident. But the officer who went on, I don't remember. But we need more officers like that. They need to be the ones that we're hearing from.
Yeah,
Instead of
because
hearing from all these bad cops, we need to hear about if it's not a cab, we need to hear from these people all the time. The blue line needs to go away. The thin blue line needs to disappear. And these guys need to be stepping out and talking about this every day, going on every radio show they can, doing public outreach and posting on their social media instead of talking about how they gave dogs treats or some bullshit. They need to go on and talk about how bad it was that this happened, and they're working on training their people to deal with this better, and they're using this as a way to make their police force learn as a learning tool, something to that effect would help. But they
yeah,
don't do that.
of course not.
They don't do that.
Because it's one of those situations.
I mean, I do have to whether that would really. I mean, at this point, maybe I'm jaded on it, but at this point, I tend to think the entire tree is rotten, and that we'd be
Yeah, I mean,
better
like
to rip
honestly,
it up and plant something else. But
yeah, and it's one of those situations too where I think where we also kind of have to be a little bit realistic whenever we're looking for practical solutions, right? Because like let's be honest, the odds of us being able to actually like, overturn the entire police system are fucking slim to none. Slim just took a walk. So like if we can have instead of like what is it like 6-week training or whatever that cops get in this country or 6-month training, like have it be like 2 years or something like that.
My
Yeah, so
hairdresser has more training.
What was that?
My hairdresser has more training.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like shit.
You wouldn't know it by looking at me, but
but no, like seriously though, because like I mean, I fucking studied criminology for 4 years in undergrad, right? And it's like I would probably be more equipped to become a law enforcement or to become a cop than most cops are that are on the street right now.
Yeah,
and that's one of those things when someone told that to me a year or so ago, and like that was one of those things like where I actually had to sit down and just like think about that for a second because that was a situation where I'm like, holy fuck.
you probably wouldn't be killing black men in mass either.
I wouldn't be.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
That sounds like not a thing you would do. My point in bringing that up was not that would fix the system, Rob. It was that
I mean, I just wanted to make a point of clarification. I know that's not necessarily
I don't think it would fix the system.
Advocating for.
I don't think it would fix the system. I do think that we do need to defund the police, and how we define defunding the police is different, I think, with everybody. But my point was that, listen, if you really want to make a good name for yourself, if you're a police officer and you really want to make it known that not all cops are bastards, then get out in front of this. Talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to hear it. But the reality is we're not seeing that, and that makes us suspect of every officer because we don't hear from the good ones. We're just expected to understand that there are good ones. and that's just not fair to anybody who has to live in fear and is terrified to call the police.
Yeah, because
Well,
it's like,
okay, so like even as like a white guy, just out of curiosity, has there ever been once in your life, Scott, where you were like, "Oh, sweet, it's the cops"? No, it's probably always, "Oh, it's the cops," right?
Right.
because even for me, it's like, I was never really excited to be dealing with police at any point in my entire life, pre-transition or now. And like cops do deal with people whenever they're at the lowest point in their lives. Hell, after I was assaulted last March, I didn't want my ex to call the cops. If I'm being honest with you, like I just didn't want her to, because I'm like, they're not going to fucking believe me. Because I'm like I'm a trans girl, and it's like, why the fuck would they, why the fuck would they believe me? Because it's
Hey,
like
you got 2 strikes against you.
What was that?
Well, yeah, because you got 2 strikes against you.
Yeah, exactly. And
You're
so
a woman
I'm
and you're
like,
trans.
yeah, exactly.
Might as well just skip any assault
Yeah.
accusations and just move on.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's a tragedy.
Yeah, and the fact that like they actually did prosecute the case is pretty surprising to me, if I'm being honest with you. But
Yeah.
the other thing too is like the only reason that the guy was even caught in the first place, because I, put myself in harm's way and took pictures of the guy.
Good for you.
Yeah, like it was a situation where I got lucky, if I'm being honest, but I was still able to do it. And it's a case of, yeah, like because I think I remember mentioning in the chat last April when the sheriff's department announced that like the guy had been released without being arrested after questioning.
Yeah.
I was pissed because I'm like, yeah, this is the end of it. Like they're just gonna let the guy walk. Nothing's gonna come of it. Ended up not being the case, but still though, the fact that I'm that cynical about our justice system says a lot.
Well, I don't know that it's cynicism at this point, right? It's just kind of a reality.
Yeah.
That
Also,
we're
I need to get a quick out of acetone real quick.
Jesus Christ.
I'm about to go grab a refill of my but Corbin said, until the discrepancies in wealth are addressed in our country, there can be no ethical. My response to that was a very simple Fred Hampton quote. It's one of my favorites. It's a class war, goddamn.
I'm wearing my I'm wearing my hat next week, which is my class war veteran hat, which I love. So
that's amazing. Not gonna lie, I kind of want that.
Oh, I love it.
I don't have a hat, but I did get some cool stickers from the John. Oh, hold on.
Oh,
stupid back. That's not right.
Nope,
hold on.
you failed.
I did ill. Why?
Drug war veteran hat. Ooh, I want that too.
There we go. So this is pretty cool, right?
I don't argue with people, John Brown.
That's amazing. Yeah, I've seen that one. I've seen that one fly around a few times, and like I'm just like, that's like the best line to use.
Theory and praxis.
Yup. Those stickers came from the Connecticut John Brown Gun Club. If they're still selling them, is like a 4-pack, or pretty cheap. They just send them in an envelope, so you're not paying out the ass for shipping. But
that's pretty high.
Yeah.
That is very hype.
Do it. Where's the 4th sticker? That's 3.
It's probably in my asshole.
Oh, wow. How did it get there? I haven't been to Arizona in a long time.
So I got to tell you this bit. So I saw this shirt with an Angela Davis quote on it. And it was being advertised on Facebook. And it's the prisons do not disappear social problems. They disappear human beings. And of course, somebody jumped on and was like, that's not proper English. Folks, I'm going to say this once. Angela Davis is smarter than you. All of you, all of us. Angela Davis is incredibly brilliant. If you think she quoted that and misspoke and used English wrong, you're a fucking moron. There's no bad English in that. It was perfectly stated. The quote is immaculate. It's absolutely perfect. So I made it a point to explain what disappear, the different ways that disappear can be used. So, but yeah, just so you know, Angela Davis, way smarter than all of you. Sorry.
Yeah, it's. I need to avoid going on my little language rant that I've gone on a few too many times in my life.
I mean, just people trying to gatekeep the English language, living in America, speaking a botched version of a language in the first place is always like rubbed me the wrong way.
We should just return back to Middle English.
If you spell color without a U, don't correct her language.
Shut up, you fucking pinko.
Or flavor.
Yeah. If you spell flavor without a U, there's no reason for you to be correcting other people's English.
Now listen here, you fucking hoss. You're being a fucking liberal right now, and I don't tolerate that kind of shit. And here we speak American.
Well, I
We
also
fuck
hate it
our
when
cousins.
people
We
try
fuck
to
our
like
cousins. We
gatekeep
don't use the
about
letter
like
U.
urban slang or ebonics, right? Like, have you ever heard of fucking dialect? All language.
You know, I think we had this conversation previously about how in the chat about how we shouldn't be correcting people's language and how they use it. And I think I said the only time that I ever correct anybody's use of the English language is when they're being pretentious, and then it's like justifiable, like if you're gonna get on your high horse, then you better be speaking perfect. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Especially like if you're like talking about how other people are fucking shitty, right? It's like at that point, then it's like, yeah, dude, like you're literally talking about minority groups right now, and you're very clearly the product of about 10 generations of inbreeding. So it's like you don't have a family tree. You very clearly have a family pole.
Family pole.
I think Jeff Foxworthy had a bit about that. Like, if your family fork, you might be a redneck or something like that.
Yeah, it goes as one straight line, something like that. I don't know, man. Yeah, not that I enjoy the works of Jeff Foxworthy.
I mean,
are you smarter than a third grader?
A family wreath. Excellent. Excellent.
That's good. That's good.
Perfect. Putting that up because that's hilarious.
I am going to check my fire and grab a refill of this delicious cider.
You do that.
Yeah.
We'll keep it. When you return, Rob, I've promised to tell
After
the story from our sponsor, which is just us. When you return, I did promise that I would tell the story of my trip to Russia, so I will do that.
That you did, yeah. That's why I'm here.
Is it really?
No.
That's the only reason Emily's watching, by the way.
So basically, what you're saying is,
how
like,
come
this is when I should go make and like just like basically
right.
get ready to be like to turn off my camera, just listen to the story, just let you go off.
Yeah. Excellent. Yeah, it'll be fun. It's a good story. It's a terrific story, and it all starts with me smuggling cash into the country. Yeah, $20,000 on my body.
Why?
Well, you go get your beverage, and I'll tell you all you need to know, my friend.
So this is on a need-to-know basis.
No, well, clearly you need to know.
Okay.
I guess
okay.
someone has been going back to Russia whenever Putin's still alive.
Well, I mean, any of really want, man, I want to go to Cuba.
I would love to go to Cuba.
Let's go
I've
to
not
Cuba.
been to Cuba.
I
Let's
have
go
not either.
together.
I don't even have a passport.
Let's book a trip, dude.
Let's
You
go
don't
to
need
Cuba.
one.
I don't
Let's
have a
go-
passport either. We'll just go anyway.
Let's go down to Florida. We'll board a Go Fast boat like they do in Miami Vice.
Go
Fucking go.
fast.
I guess we're going to Cuba.
Yeah.
I mean,
You're
I'm
gonna
down.
Smuggle us.
I'm down.
I've never seen one.
And then we can tell Uncle Sam we're doing humanitarian work. Radio Free Cuba. No.
Radio Free Cuba. Did you get yourself a drink yet or not?
No. Damn
You're taking
it.
your sweet ass time. Oh.
I am. You are correct. I'm sure you have funny tidbits to fill this space while I'm gone, right?
Do I?
Make me
I'm
laugh.
the only one on cam. So I'm gonna set up the story while they're going to get their beverages. So I went to Russia. No, I think about 12 years ago. To be the best man at my father's wedding. I did not think you were saying tidbits. Oh yeah, well, neither did I. I was thinking about defecting to Cuba to learn about a dark. And coming back in. You know, honestly, go down there for healthcare. Hello, Talia's back. I would go down there for like dental work or something. That's smart. I don't know. People do that now, and they get trained by people that are better than us. So yeah, the reason I was in Russia. So my parents got divorced, and my which is fine because it was older. But my mother told me when they got divorced, she said, "Your father is going to be married to a mail order bride in 6 months from now." Yeah, excellent healthcare in Cuba, by the way. So anyway, I'm getting distracted. Yeah, I was told, oh, your father's going to be married to a mail order bride in 6 months from now. And I said, that's crazy. That's just absurd, Mom. What gives you that impression? That's just silly. There's no way that's going to happen. Yeah, my father's a very smart guy. He's got 2 doctorate degrees in different forms of chemistry and a master's degree in business. He's really smart. He's built his own 2 of his own companies. He's a genius. He's never going to do that, right? But so 6 months later, I am on a plane to Russia to be the best man at my father's wedding to a mail order bride, which is just absurd to me, of course. But I said I would be the best man so long as he would pay for my trip through Russia to go and visit all these to visit Moscow and St. Petersburg. So that's that portion of it. But as I was leaving, I was traveling with my aunt, and traveling with my aunt, we were to smuggle in $20,000 each to pay off the judges and politicians to get her family the required paperwork, the rubber stamps they needed to come over to the US. So I have more money than I have ever seen in my life since then and before then, strapped to me. And my aunt has $20,000 strapped to her.
God.
Okay. And we go through, and I feel like I'm a drug mule or something. Like I really feel nervous, like somebody's gonna, try and and search me. Like, but that's just absurd because I'm just going through security. Back then, it was before they had those like 3D scanners that you stand up and do the whole thing with. So we went through security. We get on the plane. We're flying, and I'm so nervous. And my aunt is like, "It's fine. It's fine. It'll be fine." We land in Ekaterinburg, which is if you don't know where Ekaterinburg is, that's the delightful city where the Tsar and his family were massacred. Rightfully so, but just the same. Anyway, so we land in this.
We can agree to disagree.
So we land in this city, which is a small airport, really. We get out, and as I'm going through customs, the customs agent says to me as he's going through my bags, he says, "Did you bring any gifts?" And I said, "Well, yeah, just small things for the bride and her family." And he looked at me and he said, "No, I mean for me." And I am naive at the time. I'm young. I'm a naive young man. So I didn't understand that he was asking for a bribe. So my answer was like, "Well, I had no idea we'd be such fast friends." And to which he just looked really irritated and then zipped up my bag and said, "Just go." And so I left. And we get out of the airport, and I'm like, "Which car is ours?" So I call my dad. I'm like, "Where, which car? How am I supposed to know which vehicle is mine? Is here to pick me up?" And he said, "Oh, you'll know which one is yours." And yeah, which is great. So if you don't know this, Ekaterinburg has no drainage system, so everything there is caked in shit and mud, just covered in it. So I got out in the parking lot, and this car that is pristine pulls up along the road, and that's how I knew it was mine. It was like, "How do you know that's our car?" "Well, it's because it hasn't got shit all over it." So we took the car, and the first night we were there was the wedding and the reception, and we did the whole reception thing. Well, the reception was wild, and we drank a lot, and at the time I was really like a germaphobe, so I didn't dare drink anything that could possibly have something gross in it. So I wouldn't drink juice, I wouldn't drink milk because I didn't know if it was pasteurized. I didn't know how, I didn't know how clean everything was. So I drank only vodka. That was my excuse anyway. So so the first night I meet this interpreter, this lovely interpreter, and she is gorgeous. She's so gorgeous. She's dark curly hair, freckles, bright blue eyes, beautiful model. She's just gorgeous, right? The most beautiful woman. And I am flirting with her, and we're talking, and I said, "Oh, you want to go outside with me?" She says, "Yes." We go outside. I'm smoking a cigar. We're talking, and I throw up all over the sidewalk because I've had so much to drink. And she didn't skip a beat. It was like it hadn't happened at all. She just kept talking to me like nothing had occurred. And when we went back inside, somebody said, don't do anything with her because the girls here will poke holes in the condoms." And I would have been okay with that, but but it didn't. But nothing happened except for me being really drunk. Went back to the place I was staying. I wake up in the morning and then I've decided that was it. I'm not going to drink anymore because that's crazy. That was just mental. Like, I'm not going to drink that. Like, I'm just done. Right. So I get up and I go downstairs, and there's a van waiting for me to bring me. And now there's a whole bunch of people from the wedding party in the van. And they're going to drive us into the Ural Mountains, where we're going to go to a spa. So I get in this van, and the entire back of the van is a wine rack with bottles of vodka in it. Just all bottles of vodka. And I get in the van, and I'm like, ah, shit. Well, they bring out like these fucking Dixie cups. And the whole ride into the Ural Mountains, they're finding things to cheers about. Oh, to our friendship, to the wedding, to the marriage, to our kids, to our health, to this. And of course, I'm in a different place. And I feel like if I don't drink, I'm offending somebody because we're drinking to people's health here. So that's not a good plan, right? Oh, to my kids. This is for my great aunt Bertha who died. Like, fuck that. I'm not going to like curse these people by not drinking. So I drank all the way into the Ural Mountains. And we go and we have this, they basically, they strip you down, you get naked and you're in the snow, and then you go into the spa and they beat you like in this hot room with birch bark. They just beat the shit out of you. And then that's supposed to be relaxing. I didn't think so. I did not find that relaxing. I thought that was not my thing. And then you go back out into the snow and you like naked, and you go back into the sauna and back out, back in, and you drink and you drink and you go back in and out. I had a big feast. Anyway, so we got out of the Ural Mountains, and I leave Ekaterinburg, and I'm flying to Moscow. And I get on Aeroflot, which is the Russian airline. And what I got in can liberally be described as a plane. What I got in was a fucking tin can with wings duct taped to it.
So was it a jet or was it a prop plane?
It was supposed to be a jet. There were jet engines. I think they could have been like, they could have just put propellers inside of a canister to make them look that way. I don't know. So,
welcome to Russia.
You know how if you've ever been on a plane, when you're taking off, everything shakes. It's fucking crazy, and so it's a little mental. But when you get in the air and you hit cruising altitude, things level off. No problem. Smooth sailing. Well, I get on this airplane and it takes off, and I'm a little shaky. It's like I'm a little nervous about this, but we'll give it a shot. It gets in the air. The shaking never stops. Never stops the whole fucking trip. It was all turbulence. Okay. So I'm like so thirsty at this point. I've got cotton mouth. Like my mouth is the fucking Sahara Desert. I'm blowing sand out of my face. All right. So I am desperate for a drink, except the way that they had designed this airplane was like a kid had just drawn where the seats go with crayons. And so my seat, the tray didn't come down without hitting me in the nose. Okay? So couldn't use the tray. And so when the beverage cart lady was like finding her way down the fucking aisle, slamming into people's legs because nothing made sense in this fucking airplane. She comes up to me. She's like, "Do you want anything to drink?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I do, but I can't because there's no fucking tray." So I couldn't get anything to drink. So finally, the announcer, the captain, and says something in Russian, which is great because that's super helpful for me, right? So, but I gather we are either going to die or we're coming in for a landing. And so we start our descent, and I look out the window, and the window seat is great in a plane like this because you get to see how you're going to die. And so I look out the window and the wings are flapping. All right. Now, I don't know if you've ever been on an airplane, but the fucking wings aren't supposed to flap. It's not a fucking bird. It's an airplane, right? Those are supposed to be stationary. Okay. Wings are flapping rapidly. We hit the fucking tarmac at the full 800 miles an hour. Uh, like they didn't decide they were going to slow down at all. All right, and of course they brake hard at the end, and because the tray is so close to my face, boom, right into the fucking thing. Right after we land. Now, and then the captain comes on. He says more shit in Russian, and people clap. Everybody on the plane is applauding. People are crying. Like, how did? Is this okay? Was I not supposed to make it? Like, was this a miracle here? And yeah, apparently, right? So, Jesus Christ. So we land, people are crying, holding their children, and clapping and thanking the captain for getting us there alive, and he doesn't come out and take a bow or anything, so I don't know what the guy looked like, but I'm sure he was really something. And I get out of the plane and I get into the driver that meets me there, and I say to the driver, I am so thirsty. I need a drink really bad, and I don't. So please just take me before you take me to where I'm supposed to go. And he's like, oh, well, I'm supposed to take you directly to. I was like, I don't care. I'll pay you extra. Just get me to someplace where I can get a drink. So he gets on like this 8-lane super fucking highway and pulls over to the side of the road of the highway. And he says, okay, wait here. And he walks across all of the lanes of traffic to a gas station that is closed. Okay. And then comes out and waves for me to come as well. And I'm like, well, this is how I die. So if the plane didn't do it, this is it now. So I try and cross the highway. I get over there finally, and I walk back behind the gas station, and there's a bunch of Russian guys playing cards in the back of this gas station. And the guy's like, blah, 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 in Russian, whatever. And he says, okay, he's like, they're gonna open the store for you. So one of the guys gets up and he opens the store for me at the gas station. And the gas station store is a deli counter, like one of those glass deli counters where you get to pick your meats from the deli counter, right? Well, yeah, it's that, except there's no meat in there. It's just a bunch of shit. It's just all the things they sell. And on one wall, I see like the fucking holy grail. It's a Mountain Dew. It's the only beverage that apparently they had, and it's in this refrigerator at the end. I get that. And the guy makes me buy a bunch of other shit, like a yogurt and some other things. I don't know why, but the driver tells me I got to buy that stuff. So I buy the stuff. We leave. I paid $20. Okay. For that Mountain Dew. I did the math when I got home. I paid $20 for Mountain Dew. And I'll tell you something, I gladly would have paid 10 times that amount because I was so thirsty that I needed it, you know? Anyway, so yeah. So I get to where I'm going. So anyway, so that's the majority of my trip to Russia was that. I haven't told you about the armed guards in the Ural Mountains that were there one day and not the next, which was a lot of fun. But there's more stories in there, but that's the majority of my trip right there. Yeah. Sorry to bore you all with my fun trip. But now I have a lot of Russian relatives, and my father is unhappily married to a woman who doesn't speak English. So that's cool. Although I got to be honest with you, it's probably the only person, you'd have to not be able to speak English in order to put up with my father. So it makes sense, really.
I get that.
Oh, he was smuggling money into the country. He was smuggling money into the country to pay the judges.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
to
because
pay the
that's what
judges
was done in Russia. Um,
to rubber stamp the family to get over here.
Exactly. It's like that was the entire point of her being a fucking mail order bride, if we're being honest with each other. And so I love talking about Russian aviation because it's a story, right? So the Tupolev Tu-22 bomber had a very famous nickname in Russia or in the Soviet Union, the supersonic booze carrier.
Oh God.
So basically the refrigerant for the air conditioning system, 60% water, 40% ethyl alcohol.
Excellent.
Yes. So, and there was even a nozzle, so fittingly, at the bottom of the aircraft, so that way the refrigerant could be drained. That there was a story of or a tradition where after a pilot's first flight on the Tu-22, he would put his helmet underneath and fill it up with the refrigerant, so that way he could then celebrate his surviving the plane. The Tupolev 22 was a terrible aircraft, by the way. Terrible aircraft. But my favorite story about it, though, is obviously there were some issues with the pilots being constantly drunk.
No,
as you can imagine, right? I know, shocking. Russians
in Russia?
Nah. Yeah, exactly. Like never
heard that.
So the higher ups are like, okay, we need to do something about this. Like, we have to get rid of this mixture. And then the pilots were like, well, no, that's not possible, because like we can smell alcohol in the cabin because the cooling system isn't made very well. It's like it leaks out, and if you put in industrial grade refrigerants, like that could kill us. And so in order to prove it to the higher ups, as the story goes, instead of someone doing the sensible thing and just like the uncorrupting and like letting the people go into the cabin, they had one of the air crew take a rag soaked with vodka and put it in the ventilation duct, so that way the smell of alcohol would just be infiltrating the cabin, so that way they would be able to keep their booze on board.
Wow.
Yeah.
Russians are crafty in that way.
And then there's a story of the MiG-27. Less fun, but basically like they were trying to basically make a Russian version of the A-10, except one that would be faster. And so they took the MiG-23 and they put they put a giant fucking gun on the bottom of this thing. So ignoring the fact that like the gun was so powerful that it was literally blowing the plane to pieces if it was fired. Like, there's a story of a pilot firing the gun and like the instrument panel falling off into his lap in the cockpit.
So like, time out though, Scott, have you never seen an A-10? Like, were you just like being funny? Like, if you don't know it, I want to show it to you, because when they fire the guns, the plane like slows down. Like, it's some crazy shit.
Are we talking about the Warthog?
Yeah.
I haven't seen one like in real life, but I used to play Command and Conquer in the Generals, and they had A-10s.
But so
it's the only reason I know what they are.
That's a move.
I got you.
Yeah, they fly over me. They fly over my house all the time.
Well, come on, do something. It says in action, right? There we go. There's a plane in the air. We're making progress. Now shoot the gun. That's all I'm here for. Shoot the gun.
1,400 feet. This is less than the size of an average NASCAR racetrack, and will over twice the speed of your.
Shoot the gun.
I think this is at an air show. I don't think they shoot at an air show.
It probably is an air show. But I want to see the Burt.
But yeah, so as you're finding that, Rob, The last we're about the MiG-27. So
Yeah.
basically,
Sorry, go
with
ahead.
MiG-23 is it only had like an 8% like frontward visibility, like below the eye line, right? So like that's not enough for a ground attack aircraft. So instead of like figuring something out with the cockpit, they literally just like cut part of the nose off of the plane, so that way like the pilots could actually be able to see the target they're aiming at.
What the hell?
Yeah, it's called the platypus or the flying balcony.
Good Lord. All right. Well, no, thank you. Okay. You know what? So the Warthog stops when it shoots, is what you said?
Slows
It
down.
slows down.
Slows down. Yeah, because if it stopped, it would just fall out of the fucking air, right? Like,
Right.
that's a good thing.
But like, I mean, like visibly slows the fuck down.
I want to see this.
I have to I found a training thing with tracers where it's like an A10 and a
Hang on.
anti-aircraft gun
Here,
shooting at
I
each
found a
other.
bird compilation. This will work.
Oh, a Bert compilation. There we go. Bert is the sound that it makes.
Of course it is. There's no sound on it though.
Yeah, I want to
I feel
hear
like
the
I'm
Bert.
missing the Bert.
Also, keep in mind that when we talk about the military-industrial complex, right? Like we're talking about the billions of dollars that these devices we're watching right now cost.
Yeah, I mean it's providing entertainment for us right now. So think of it that way. At least it's useful in some way. How do I look, Ernie? With your eyes, Bert. Nice. Very classy.
Yep. It's the late show, dude. We don't have to be classy.
Well, that's the only reason why I'm on.
Did you happen to watch any of the police brutality special we did yesterday?
Jesus Christ. Back to this. Unbelievable.
Fuck you.
I didn't do that. What was it?
It was
Was
pretty
it
good.
just a barrel of laughs, Rob? Because I feel like it wasn't.
No, but it was good conversation.
I believe that. I believe that.
Was it a barrel of laughs? No. That wasn't the point.
Why are you bringing us back to it then, Rob?
I was just wondering if you had seen it or any of it.
No.
Because we had a new guest on. Kama Patel is a civil rights attorney in Detroit. And it was the two guests were her and Chairman Jake of the White
excellent.
Panther Party. And
Yeah, all right.
the back and forth that they had for like 2 hours was just phenomenal. Like, I mean, honestly, Trisha and I were both there and we both just kind of, like let it steer itself. The conversation was good.
Yeah, I
But
feel like with those two on, you just kind of take a back seat to it,
yeah. I mean,
why
it was,
interrupt?
right. I was going to take away from it if I was going to try to add to it. So
Right.
I did.
Let them go.
Yeah, exactly. So we're trying to do a follow-up to that 2 weeks from yesterday, tentatively at the regular current event stream time. But we're bringing more people into it, and we're going to try to have like a full round table. So I just wanted to bring it up as if you're interested in having like a round table or being part of a round table on police brutality, we will be doing that.
Okay.
It sounds like there's going to be some involvement from the New Era Young Lords. Some possibly, anyway, I won't say for sure, but possibly some, like family of like victims of police brutality. I mean, it's one thing for us to say our piece on it, right? But like it's another thing entirely when it's someone who has lost a loved one. Anyway, point is 2 weeks from yesterday is the tentative thing for that. So that should be fun. For that matter, fun is totally not the right word there.
Wow, Rob.
It was supposed to be sarcastic, but then I realized that it came off as cold.
Hang on. Wade wants you to pay attention to him, Rob.
Yeah, Wade did math that I did not want to do. I mean, wow. Wow. I wish I could like put that on the screen, but I can't.
Don't you dare. Don't you
Oh man.
Woo! That's fucking spicy.
I'm sorry. That's dark.
I mean, dark humor is like food. Not everyone gets it.
Oh shit.
Anyway.
Oh. I made a joke. Not a very good one. That was what was spicy.
It was dark.
It had nothing. It was not about you, Wade. I will beat him up for you though, and tell him that you're knocking on the FWAM door. You sent a voice message to me.
Oh yeah, one other thing I wanted to talk about. This is a little more lighthearted, but one other thing that I wanted to talk about was the East Coast leg of the Principled Unity book tour. It's put on by the Second Rainbow Coalition. It's featuring. Actually, I can show you the books. Hang on. I have them both on my bookshelf. It's featuring. Let me get rid of my background so I can actually, like, Revolutionary Hillbilly by Hy Thurman.
Excellent.
He was a founding member of the Young Patriots organization in Chicago, part of the original Rainbow Coalition. Yep, he's one of the elder advisors for the Second Rainbow Coalition. He wrote a book, obviously, Revolutionary Hillbilly. It's kind of like almost like an activist notebook, right? Like, it doesn't necessarily go like deep into ideological things, but it kind of like tells the story of what they were doing in their community, if that makes sense. And then,
what were they doing, Rob?
Well, they was activizing.
That is good. That's what we would like to do.
They were like feeding people and providing medical care.
Wow.
Pretty legit shit. Wow. And then Kwame, we actually had him on to talk about this book. That was over a year ago now, probably, when the book first came out. But he is promoting his book, which is called My Search for Answers, Truth, and Meaning. And it basically talks about his transformation from being a I mean, like being engulfed in like the gang culture, like criminal life, to, going to prison and finding how he wanted to make a difference, which in his case was, revolutionary organizing.
It was interesting to see Talia's face perk up a little bit when you talked about his transformation. It was,
Yeah, I'm kind of like zoning out right now. I'm sorry.
she was just like, transformation.
What do we have here?
What is
Oh
this
my
now?
God.
Yeah. Well, that's exciting. When is that?
Oh yeah, that's what I was getting to. Not all of the dates are finalized yet, but basically it's going to be March 23rd through April 1st.
Yep.
There will be stops on most of those days. 2 in the Philadelphia area, 1 in Baltimore, 1 in DC, 1 in New York City, 1 in Virginia, and then hopefully 1 in Rhode Island. If not there, then 1 in Connecticut. But either way, there will be 1 a little further north.
When you get more information on the venues, are you going to post it?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Good. All right. Excellent. So
and I mean, I do have a list of tentative dates, but I don't want to, like say it and then, have something change before it's
And betray all of us.
Yeah, we'll all blame you.
We'd all be very disappointed in you, and then we would be sad, and then you'd have to go to the gulag.
Yeah, dude. I mean, why don't we send the weathermen to the gulag?
I don't think they're the ones causing the weather.
Yeah.
Well, you're probably right, but they lie to us all the time.
Okay. You got me now.
I knew that would work.
I am re-engaged. So.
Uh-oh.
We get a lot of shit wrong. Yes, we do. However,
listen to that voice. It just transformed. Like it's just going ballistic.
Yes.
Let it go, sister.
God, no. I want to see both of your faces. Get back here. Get back here. So, are we perfect? Absolutely fucking not. However, do we do the best that we possibly can? Absolutely. In fact, snow is still a bit of an issue in some parts of the country, St. Louis, but for the most part, the SPC, the Storm Prediction Center for the Weather Service, has been exceptional the past few years in predicting exactly where this very severe weather is going to be. Last December's Maine tornado outbreak, nailed it. And then a couple days later with the derecho, they nailed it that then too. And all these outbreaks where it's oh hey, yeah, wherever the enhanced risk was, the high risk, which are rare, but the moderate, enhanced, and high risk areas are all dead on for the past few years. So just because we predict a high temperature is 69, you're I get to be giggly all day, and when it ends up being 68, I'm sorry.
I mean, I was more or less talking about here in southern New England. They'll be like, oh, there might be a few snowflakes in the northern part of the state, and then in the southern part of the state, there's snow flying, and everybody at work's like, but the news said.
No, you know what? You know what bothers me more than anything? The 50% chance bullshit. 50% chance is you don't know fuck all. So what are you even talking about? 50% chance. That's like saying nothing. There's a 50% chance of rain. Why don't you just say we don't know? It's anybody's guess. Just look outside. That's as good as you're good at. Oh, she's
I took your nose. I took your nose.
Oh, dude, what are you gonna do without your nose?
I don't know.
Tragic.
I won't be able to smell her coming. What were we talking about weather people for? What happened to when did this spiral into this?
That's what the Late Show is. We just spiral.
It's chaos.
You were trying to create problems, Rob. That's what you were doing.
And you have succeeded.
Yeah. He was picking a fight with you.
It's like you
Yeah.
just know that I'm the person who risks her life to keep people safe by storm chasing, and you just have to like shit all over me
It's the
and make me feel
dumbest.
bad about myself.
That's just that's just the dumbest hobby. I can't.
Did you just call me Bobby?
No, I said that's the dumbest hobby.
Oh,
Storm chasing.
hobby.
I can't even
Ugh.
imagine. The only thing that I can think of that would be dumber is like you
Being a
lighting yourself on
communist.
fire. Like, oh, there's nothing more fun than lighting myself on fire. Well, there was that time that I drove straight into a fucking tornado. That was way better.
So the one thing I do want to point out though is that people tend to not take tornado warnings seriously until they actually see the tornado on the ground. So basically, because my job goes beyond like just tornadoes, right? Being a storm spotter or a storm chaser, what you were doing is you're letting the weather service know what is actually happening on the ground. So, like let's say it's like there's hail going on somewhere, and you're like, oh hey, like like it's getting to the point where it's severe, or oh hey, like there's rotation here on this tornado warning that's just radar indicated. You need to make sure that people know that this is spotter confirmed. Now there's a tornado on the ground. Now it's damaging. Because yes, there are ways on radar to see if a tornado is damaging, but the best way to do that is to have a chaser on the ground with the camera going, live streaming it to ABC 3340. So that way they can like actually have it up on the screen and people can be like, oh fuck, like this is real. We need to get to our storm shelter now. Because people don't take warning seriously. The NWS, I don't work for them. I basically like the Skyward program is like an affiliate thing that they sponsor. Words are hard. It's through them, but you're not an NWS employee. But basically, like people don't take warning seriously because like, oh, there's only like a 10% chance of the warning actually being accurate. It's more like 60% now. Am I destroying you too much with logic and facts?
No, here's my problem. You've decided that in order for people to take seriously the danger of a fucking storm is to drive into it. Like that has got to be the most asinine logic I've ever heard in my life.
So there actually is logic to it, right? Because I'm not driving into the storm.
I heard it. I
always stay southeast of the storm by at least 1.5 miles or 2 miles, especially if there's a tornado, right? Because like that, tornadoes tend to track to the northeast. And plus, if it does shift to the southeast, then me being 2 miles away is enough room for me to be able to get the hell out of there.
I think you broke him.
I did.
She's like, well, storms are unpredictable, and I've got to know which degree it's going to change in by standing in front of it. Like, that's still not okay.
In my 2000 Honda Civic.
Yeah, right. You're not
Okay.
tank, you know?
Now you're like pushing me towards Scott's side.
Well, but that's why I need to get this F-250 that I'm building right now on Ford's website, so that way I can like have a proper storm chasing vehicle.
I hope it has your Civic has that stupid fucking erector set spoiler in the back so that it can stay on the ground when it's being hit by a fucking tornado. I want to make sure you're not lifted off the ground.
It only looks like it was hit by a tornado. That's all, because after it got hit and run twice last year, it looks like it looks like it's been through a tornado.
Wade's like, oh, you want me to take a Ford into a storm?
Okay, in all honesty, I would rather take a Ram into a storm, but I just don't know if I trust Fiat's electronic reliability.
No, you can't drive a Ram into a storm. Can't do it.
I mean,
it's
you can
literally a Dodge. Okay, you can't. Why would you do that? Unbelievable.
Look, I just need a red Ram 1500.
Well, we all want something, right? What's with you in red? Is there some reason? Something that compels you?
Maybe, potentially.
It's that Soviet underpinning. Oh God! Wow, that's I don't know how I'm going to recover from this storm chaser bullshit. We all do stupid shit, and that's your thing, I guess. I'm going to pick up meth for weight loss, so everybody does.
I don't recommend it.
Well, it's that or go vegan, Rob, and I can't have that shit on my conscience.
It's probably cheaper to be a meth head at this point.
It's absolutely cheaper. Absolutely cheaper.
And for the record, we do not endorse
Storm chasing. We do not endorse storm
meth.
chasing on any level. Nobody should be doing something that fucking stupid in a Honda Civic. If you're going to do it, make sure you have a tank, like a 1990s Volvo or something. Don't go.
I mean, I don't know. You
storm.
said tank. I mean, I think a T-34 is the appropriate.
An M1 Abrams.
Oh, dude, did you hear we're sending tanks to Ukraine? Oh, it's great. It's great.
I mean, I'm just hoping. I will say this though. I hope we send Matt Ryan to the Ukrainians because then they're guaranteed to choke.
But like, no, you said M1 Abrams, and I'm like,
yeah. It's which.
You know what? I'll tell you what we should do. We've got 5 officers we should send over there. And just send them right over to Ukraine. They'll take care of everything. They got expandable batons they can kick ass with. Don't worry.
Oh God, I would love to send them in with an encounter with a Wagner.
Let them go.
So and then Germany is also sending tanks, right? And the media keeps calling them the Leopard tanks, but they still call them Panzers, don't they? Do they just not want to say Germany is sending Panzers into Ukraine?
Well, because like Panzer is literally the German word for tank. So it's like, I mean, they're literally, it's just like one of those situations where like they know how it would sound, so like they have to care about that. And it's annoying. It's annoying.
Well, I mean, if Nazi Germany wasn't sending Panzers into the USSR. I mean, what?
I mean, all I'm going to say is that it is very much like Germany to reinforce fascist dictatorships.
We have a strong history of that, I feel like. The U.S. does a great job propping up fascist dictators.
Yeah.
If we're good at anything, it's that.
Well, you know what we need to do?
What's that?
We need to send this shit to the Ukrainians because there's no way in hell that they fucking drink this.
Isn't it Ukrainian already? Like, didn't they ship it here?
I am convinced.
They probably export their vodka to drink Russian vodka.
Yes,
probably. God, like it's one of those things where it's like even like the shitty, like the basic version of Russian standard is infinitely better than this.
Yes, Putin is a piece of shit.
Hey, Apsis research. Dobisa suka. Since apparently I want to speak Ukrainian, I'll speak some Ukrainian to you.
I don't know.
You don't fucking know anything.
It just means glory
like,
to the
whenever my fucking family's literally in Donetsk right now fighting for their fucking homeland, and you have the nerve to fucking say that, get the fuck out of here.
I mean, it's not even spelled right, but that's okay. Don't scream into the mic. Why not?
I mean, okay, so like none of us here are fans of Putin. Right?
No. Well, you know my feelings on him are not.
Yes. Yes. I mean, we've all made this clear over the past several months. Obviously, we don't need to rehash this. However,
All right.
the Ukrainian nationalists that are running Ukraine are also not good people.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, right? Before Russia invaded Ukraine, everybody here was talking about, we shouldn't say everybody here was talking about,
The
but a
media,
great
though.
deal of people were talking about how corrupt and horrible Ukraine was and how we needed to clean up how corrupt and horrible Ukraine was. And then they got invaded by Russia, and then all of a sudden they were our best friends and allies. Now, I don't.
Have you seen the videos pouring out of Ukraine about, like, you know, people being forced into the battle, pretty much? I mean, I don't know what's the word for that. Forced conscription, I guess, would be
Yeah,
the
which I mean,
the
Russia is
phrase
doing
for
the
it.
exact same thing, just to be clear.
Yes.
But the fact like we're only hearing about it from on the Russian side, we're not hearing about it all on the Ukrainian side is just fucking ridiculous.
Right. And I mean, like, it's to a point where they're literally showing up at people's houses, and it doesn't matter how fucking old you are. Like, oh, you can walk? Here, you can hold a fucking gun. Get out there. Like, or you get shot.
Yeah. So I got to tell you, after 9/11, I was young. I was just out of high school, and my whole family is military. So I felt like I should, I was filled with patriotic sense of duty because my country just been maliciously attacked. So I was going to join the Marines. And if you can imagine me being a Marine, that's never going to fly. But I tried to join the Marines, and I went through the whole process. The recruiter said, "Great, we're going to get you in," and yeah, I said duty. So I I ended up going through the whole process, and they told me, "Well, you can't be in the military because you're deaf in your left ear. So you can't, if you can't hear orders, you're going to be a problem." So I said, okay, well, I'm not going to be a Marine. Let me see if I can try other branches of service. I went through the Navy. I went to the Air Force. I went to the Army last because, that's a thing. And even to the Coast Guard. I went through everything. And they all said no if you're deaf, but they all made me go through the whole process. Said if you're deaf, you can't hear to take orders. So no, you're going to be, you're going to compromise the entire squad. So you got to go. So I couldn't join any branch of service, even though I tried all of them. But it didn't stop the recruiters from calling me.
Of course not. And they're
Well,
probably telling you about how you can get a brand new Dodge Charger. You know what I'm saying? You got to impress the chicks.
With with a 96-month loan and an 18% interest rate.
your college is going to be paid for. Don't worry about it. You get yourself. This is fucking crazy. The GI Bill. Let me tell you all about it. I'm like, I've heard it like 6 times now. Okay, I don't need to hear it again. But anyway, so I finally went and talked to a friend of mine who was a recruiter, and I said, "Listen, how do I get them to stop calling me?" And they said, "Well, you got to tell them. If you tell them you're deaf in one ear, they're never going to stop calling you. You've got to tell them you lost an arm." So the Navy calls me again one day, and I'm sitting in my dorm room, and they call me and they say, "Hey, have you ever thought about joining the Navy?" And I said, "Yeah, I think about it all the time," which is a lie because who wants to join the Navy? Anyway, so they keep going with their pitch, right? And they said, "Yeah, this is really exciting. I was told I couldn't join you guys." And they said, "Well, why is that?" I said, "Well, last summer, I was celebrating with some fireworks, and just I lost my arm in a patriotic blast of glory, and And they said, "Oh, really? That's terrible. Well, that's unfortunate. Yeah, I'm sorry. We can't take you." The call stopped. There was never another call, but I had to tell them I lost a fucking arm before they would stop calling me.
Yeah, I remember I was tired of the recruiters calling me, so I tried telling one of them that I was a Russian spy. That did not go
Excellent.
over. Like, it didn't work. I'm like, what the fuck? It's like I told you I was a spy for a foreign country. It's like I was being sarcastic, but
You
I was
should
kind
have
of making it have the
spoken
cop
to them
show
in
up.
Russian.
What?
You should have spoken to them in Russian.
До
Das Vidanya.
All you
свидания,
gotta do is like say I served the Soviet Union in Russian.
Oh man, yeah, but then of course, you'd have been the FBI would have followed you around for the rest of your life.
The whole damn thing.
Yeah.
You would
It's like, I
never poop
swear, it's
alone
like,
again.
it's
You
like
would
if I was
never
like,
poop
"Я
alone.
служу Советскому Союзу," it's like I'm 90% certain I have the FBI following me, so it's like, like shit, how much political bullshit I've been involved with beyond this. Fuck. I'm amazed I'm not on the no-fly list.
And so I wanted to start this whole campaign when I was fresh out of college. I wanted to start this whole campaign about like how everybody was talking about, like, oh, this sweet little notes that they have, like live, laugh, love. There's one that says, dance like nobody's watching, which is just the dumbest shit ever, right? So
Isn't the point of dancing to look stupid in front of other people? I
I don't
don't
think
I
that-
don't dance by myself.
I mean, it depends on the kind of dance you're talking about.
I was just gonna say, I've seen some dancing. I've seen some dancing that wasn't terribly embarrassing. So, but where was I with it? Oh yeah, so I wanted to do a new campaign where the slogan was "Dance like the NSA is watching." Hang on, I've seen Ted dancing. Dancing Queen. Hang on, is she bringing out the stripper pole? I think she is. Is that like a telescoping stripper pole?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. When I think dancing though, like I'm usually referring to like this shit. Except for, see, he's all like, oh, he's watching me. I'm all like I'm about to look stupid for this room of people.
It's not unusual to be like that. It's not unusual to have fun with anyone.
By the way,
I'm just being stupid.
I dance. See, when I dance more like a Muppet. I don't know if you noticed that.
I could believe that.
Yeah.
Hey Wade, if you want, I can drop my Cash App. Then you can
Oh my God. Shameless self-promotion.
It's awful. It's awfully what's the word I'm looking for?
Where's Corbin to boost my ego?
He probably left a while ago.
Hey, put my thing up on the fucking screen.
Whatever. She's all like,
Yay!
Stop making fun of me. Or else I'll like break out the strap on.
oh.
Where did I put
Listen to that.
actually?
Oh, hey, look at that. Nate's in the comments.
Yay! Hey, Nate.
Yay!
I ain't seen you in a while, bro. That's not true. You're in the chat.
You
now,
chat all
man.
the time.
Yeah, usually when I'm at work.
Yeah. But he's usually the one keeping us all on topic.
Hmm.
I'm always like, oh, let's talk about goofy shit, and he's like, no, there's there's some depressing shit happening, and you should
Fuck
just
that.
shut the fuck up and talk about
Fun
real
is
stuff,
everything.
like Rob in this podcast.
It's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
It's true.
There's always a fucking Debbie Downer every week. Tell you, I don't know what these people are doing to us, man. I have no idea.
I will say that the one thing is that there are some people who just don't want to have humor in the world. And they're all communists.
That's it.
And they're all communists.
They're all... Oh shit.
I'm amazed I was able to keep a semi-straight face as long as I was.
Yeah, that was good. Oh
They're all
no.
communists.
Nate's been shut down. Look at him. RSV is no joke. Worse than 2020 COVID was for me. Really?
I believe it.
Okay, so just to
What?
get ourselves laughing again real quick.
Uh-oh, here we go. I hope there was more to
Wait,
that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the tip, fam. You're amazing.
Oh, no way. Did he send
Yep.
you a tip? Oh, he's
Yep.
the best.
He
He's
is.
the best.
So if you're ever on a sugar dating website, you're trying to get yourself a nice redheaded Russian sugar baby.
What the fuck?
The worst thing to say is, "Hey, how about you come over to my house? I'll give you some wine, and we can get to know each other better." That is not a good icebreaker.
Scott.
Can we back
He's
up?
like,
Can we back up for just a minute? Because
My
I'm
DMs were
hearing,
fucking weird.
if you're ever on a sugar dating site, which I assume you mean not for like diabetics,
Correct.
and you're looking for a what?
Oh, a redheaded Russian sugar baby.
A redheaded Russian sugar baby.
Yes.
Hmm.
Just I chose that out of the air.
I mean, who doesn't want a redheaded Russian sugar baby? Let's be honest. Don't we all?
Apparently, a lot of people.
Nice.
I mean, it's like the moment that I say, "Oh shit!"
Excellent. Excellent. That's very nice.
The hair stays like this.
I love it. It looks good. Looks very rock and roll. Oh, you ruined it. God damn it. You were almost my redheaded Russian sugar baby. Is that it?
Didn't you say earlier in this show that you don't have enough money for something?
Cocaine.
Okay, so yeah, exactly.
I don't know what a sugar baby costs.
I mean, me either, but I assume it's probably in the same ballpark as cocaine.
Well, I don't know what cocaine costs either.
I feel like I would be incriminating myself if I answered that question.
Which one?
The latter.
Because I feel like you could answer both.
No, all right. So for the record,
Yeah.
wait, I don't have enough room in the studio to have my pull up. Otherwise, the poll would already be up. If you want me to send the cash up back to you, I can.
Oh,
But so basically,
what you're trying to suggest that there isn't a poll already up?
I don't have a fucking poll.
I wasn't talking about yours.
I thought that's what you were.
You're talking about my strap on, weren't you? I knew it.
Jesus, 3-something in the candy aisle. What? It's 3-something. Oh, I get it now. Sugar babies.
Ah.
Oh,
Okay,
excellent. Epic.
But yeah, it's like it's one of those things where like it kind of depends on like if you find someone who's a rookie, like you can usually get those sugar babies for cheaper. I'm not cheap. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think anybody thought you were cheap. What was the conversation we were having earlier? It was like, if you were going to date a man, he better be rich. Me too. I'm a lesbian unless he's rich. Then I'm a
So Nate, I'm just gonna guess that
sugar
Scott has no idea what any of that means.
I got laughing my ass off. That's a good start. Sugar daddy pimp in chat. Look, we've been going for hours. Where's my 8-ball? All right. So this is the thing. Sugar daddy. Gathering from context clues. A daddy who provides sugar. 8-ball. Not pool.
I don't think that's what he was talking about.
That's
I mean,
a magic. Is that the magic 8-ball he was talking about?
It's like it turns out this fucking fetish is me like just throwing an 8-ball like from pool like on his nuts.
Oh,
That would be fun.
Why? Why did you have to take it there?
have you ever seen the movie On the Doll?
No.
Check it out. It's a good movie. On the Doll.
Do I look like I watch movies?
I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Do you look like you watch movies?
I mean, I was just implying, all right, because Talia joked earlier that communists want no joy in the world, that I wouldn't take joy in movies. Actually, a lot of movies I have a really hard time fucking watching.
You know what you look like,
Marvel
Rob?
movies, dude. That shit's fucking military propaganda.
You know what you look like, Rob? You look like you smoke a lot of weed, run a communist podcast. That's what you look like.
All right, what do I look like?
I'm not answering that. All right, I think we did already answer that. A red-headed sugar.
You can't even say the word.
Red-headed Russian sugar baby. I'm pretty sure
Oh my
that's the answer.
god, I'm like also a 2-time college graduate, and you're like completely ignoring my intellectual accomplishments. Oh my god.
Damn, she burned you good, bro.
So listen, I only want you for your body.
Hey, at least you're fucking honest. Like my personal favorites are like whenever someone on Seeking messages me like, oh my god, like you seem like such a really cool, intelligent person. Like, oh yeah, like we're off to a good start. Then we get talking, and I'm like, dude, you just fucking care about my body. Just tell me that initially, and I'm gonna respect you a hell of a lot more.
Oh. Maybe that's what I've been doing wrong this whole time. Jesus Christ. Wow, if only somebody had told me that's how I should be approaching women.
No, in certain contexts, because it's like basically it's like on fucking Seeking, it's an entirely different situation. Well, especially on like What's Your Price or whatever, it's an entirely different situation.
Yeah. I thought respecting women was the appropriate way to go, but I guess
as long as you're being
now
genuine about
I'll just
it,
start degrading them and hope that works.
Okay, Andrew Tate.
Damn.
Listen.
She got you good
Whoa!
again.
Listen, you Matrix motherfucker. Unbelievable. Andrew Tate. Jesus.
What a fucking tool.
I mean, but he's in a cell. Instead of just being an incel, he's an incel in a cell.
Oh, listen to that. It's like a Russian nesting doll. That's excellent news.
He's an incel in hell in a cell.
I got a great picture of him as Stimpy or Ren, one of those. Un momento, por favor. I gotta find it.
So, speaking of like smokes a lot of weed and runs a communist podcast, I found out the other day from a fucking meme that Patrick Stewart played Lennon in a British TV show back in the day.
Sure, why not?
Sure, why not? I was so like thrown off by it. Like, no, that can't possibly be real, but it was.
What? Why would you think it wasn't real? Is my confusion. Like, there's no way that's possible. Actors wouldn't play somebody in a movie.
It's not a movie, it's a TV show.
TV show, whatever. Okay, so actors don't also appear in TV shows? Were you confused about that?
No, I was surprised who Patrick Stewart was playing in a Cold War era British TV show.
And he didn't.
I haven't
fulfill
actually
his
like
career.
watched it, so I don't know how they portrayed Lennon. But
I'm concerned that Lenin was still alive in the Cold War.
the show doesn't take place during the Cold War.
You just said
Okay, when I-
Cold
when I was
War
using my
era.
chopsticks, I only meant to take your nose. I didn't mean to take your entire fucking brain.
Jesus. Oh, jeez. All right. Ouch. That's just vicious.
The show was made in the Cold War. It takes place prior and during World War One.
You should
Yeah,
be
so like
more
1903
clear.
it starts out with, I guess.
You should definitely be more clear about things because I didn't get that.
Oh, whose fucking fault is that?
Well, yours, because you suck at describing things.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
fucking
true.
terrible.
Yep, you suck. Hang on. Like, did you guys see this?
What you said in chat.
What?
That's what I was talking about.
Andrew Tate. There he
It's
is.
so
I
accurate.
mean, yeah.
He's beautiful. He's beautiful. Look at him. Look at that strong jaw, that pronounced forehead. Excellent. Excellent image.
Perfect alpha male eyes.
Jesus Christ.
God.
It's got to say something that, Talia's more masculine than him. I feel like that's.
Like I at least know how to shoot a gun, and like I'm like so fucking feminine. It's kind of hilarious. I mean, back when I had one, my dick was probably bigger too. So
That's nothing to be proud of. Oh, what's with the Memphis video? Jesus.
Actually, to be honest, like, if you really want to know how I feel about it, go to the White Panther Party page. There's already a whole discussion posted about it. I agree with what was being discussed there. I mean, they are literally expecting a response. Ultimately, is why they released it on a Friday night. The police chief said it was to keep the community safe. Make sure our kids are home and off of the streets before anything crazy unfolds.
Here's an idea. I have a great idea on how we can prevent craziness. Stop fucking killing people. Let's start there. Like, oh, we're worried that there's going to be a lot of violence occurring. Well, maybe if you didn't start it, we'd be okay. Well, just throwing it out there. Just throwing it out there. Natalie wants to know, shouldn't everyone know how to shoot a gun?
no, not everyone, not Nazis, because they cannot see what they're shooting at.
I don't think my
I did
ex-wife.
not see that coming.
I don't think my ex-wife should know how to shoot a gun. I think she should be barred from knowing how to shoot a gun.
I will say probably my favorite one that I have is one that folds up in half. It's pretty cool.
An ex-wife? The guy.
Wade Nate is commenting on
Firearm.
YouTube. That's
Oh, where are people
That's-
chatting? Basically across Facebook and YouTube.
It's all
Yeah.
it's all over the map.
Nothing from Twitch yet tonight. Surprising. Usually we get a troll or something.
Yeah, we usually get last week it was a troll from
That gives me an idea.
Twitch.
We're about to have a troll on Twitch. I have a hunch. She's gonna call us all joyless communists or something.
I can't wait. And it's going to be the under screen name. Redheaded Russian sugar baby.
So apparently I've forgotten my Twitch password. Completely unrelated.
Oh no, Corbin has a headache.
Completely unrelated. Now she's gonna make a new account.
Yeah. What's your account name gonna be?
What trolls? I would never ever troll.
I've also had a Twitch once or twice. Usually it's when I drink too much caffeine.
Sometimes when I drink too much caffeine, my hand will get a little jittery, you know?
Yeah, but this is my shooting hand.
Hey, question. What's the name of the Twitch channel? Just a random question.
Wait, is that one of them at platforms? Do I put the at sign
We'll
first?
try
I
it.
don't know.
It's either for We Are Many podcast or at for We Are Many podcast.
Yeah, millennials are older, Corbin. That's the problem, man. Everybody's getting old.
Yeah. Yeah, the revolution lies on Gen Z at this point, I think.
Oh. Well, it's not going to be on my back. So my back is
No, you can have like a posh support role. You'll be fine.
the second shooter. There it is.
Liberals.
Yeah. Look at the spelling on that. Excellent. Wade. Millennials are still young
liberals.
to me. Where Jesus. Damn communists ruining my America goblets. What is goblets?
I was just typing back in Boomer, actually. You know, you goddamn liberals is as far as I got, but then you made it funny. So
There's
yeah.
a U in that spelling. In goblets? Oh, Goebbels. Ah, I got it. God. The problem with Wade is he's smarter than me. So I have to like decipher what he's saying. He's got like codes to everything he's saying.
Codes.
Yeah.
I think you're making shit up now, bro.
No. No, he speaks in riddles.
That's true. That much is true.
Oh, favor. That's what he was talking about. I thought he meant in goblets. I thought he meant like in Joseph Goebbels. And I thought, oh, well, that's a very clever joke. But no. Nope. He was talking about favor. Sorry. And dumb people are more educated than you. Yeah. Are you the poster child for dumb educated people? So
Yes.
So you're doing there?
Yes.
Color and favor. Thank you, Wade. That's because you know.
If you know, you know. You know?
He speaks the proper English. Oh, I see what he's doing. He's making fun of me for picking on your language. This.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is always
Yeah.
just
Damn communists ruining my America. Gobbles.
Goblets. Wow. That is epic. That is fantastic.
Also, everyone should go.
I
join
didn't
the Club
actually
where
mean
everyone
to
has
respond to
burgers.
Wade's comment with the caps lock on, but it's too late.
Like he was like you're yelling at him. You know none of us are okay. None of us.
It's true. It's true.
That was. I don't know why I did that outbreak. It's late now. I feel like we're all losing steam here. We're just making
Hey, this is called The Late Show.
it's like, yeah, it's true.
I do need to go grab a water though. I will be right back.
Okay, Rob, hold down the fort.
I'll hold down the fart. That's what you said, right? Well, that's what I got. That's what I got. Yep. Yep. Because we're not okay. You get it? You get it? Come on, that was a good joke. We're totally gonna get stuck. But I'm not okay. No? Okay. I thought that was funny.
Why did you stop the music?
Oh. I don't know. I was just filling dead air.
So, if we're going to be watching music, I have a proposal.
But you gotta like talk through it so you don't get zucked.
I can do that. I got you. I got you, fam.
You mean FWAM? No? Okay.
I have died. Talia,
Great.
the Talia that you once knew is dead.
Oh hey, I can totally like turn Scott's camera back on before he's ready.
What's happening?
Rob, that was a really good burn that you had there, by the way.
I doubt it.
No, it wasn't very good. I just turned on your camera before you were ready.
Oh, yeah, that's hilarious.
I hope you get hit by a lifted Dodge Ram pickup.
Guess who will be driving it? This bitch!
Jesus Christ. Well, I'm very excited. So I had this, I thought Talia came back, but I was just going to leave it. I was just going to leave and go to bed.
That's fucked up. I mean, I am probably about to leave here soon.
Yeah,
though. It's I got to work 12 hours tomorrow.
Oh, fuck.
Wow. Why?
Because the
Well,
man.
you see, I exchange my labor for, well, digital dollars at the end of the day that I then trade like tokens for things that I need to survive.
Yeah, I think you should call in sick and come play board games.
Why is it always got to be
On the weekend?
on the weekend?
Yeah, when I don't work. And
Yeah,
then
why
with
isn't
Emily,
it when I don't work?
when everybody else doesn't work except you? Is that why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you saying that you work at night? I'm calling bullshit on your bullshit.
I do.
Well, you do.
You don't know what I do during my private time.
I do.
Besides mostly ignore my messages.
That is not true. I respond to every single one of your messages when I can.
Like a week later.
That always answers mine within 5
That
minutes.
could also be true.
I mean, I'm just talking shit.
Same.
Asshole. Sorry, was my mic muted? What are you doing? Are you looking for something, Talia?
Do you want to screen share? Is that what
Oh,
you're...
there we go.
Oh, shows I did I already click that earlier? Okay, yeah. So I was on the Wall Street Journal,
Yeah.
and why Kaepernick flamed out in the NFL, and I'm very disappointed because like it's not even like a real article. Like, yeah, it's a paragraph. I'm like actually sad because I was like wanting to rip on this, and it couldn't even happen.
Yeah, that's not a helpful thing, is it?
It's not. I'm very disappointed.
The good old WSJ.
At least I don't have to pay for it. I get it free through my school, so
That's the thing, is that all of the right-wing news sources are all free.
which also one thing I want to talk about though too is that New York Times
Oh no.
fucking transphobic as shit.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm gonna see if I
I
can
mean,
find
I'm not
it.
surprised. I'm not sure what exactly.
So basically, like the New York Times, they have like they have like a shit ton of like transphobic or transphobes like allowed to write in the opinion article section and or in the opinion section. Like only one pro-trans person is like is a regular columnist or is a regular opinion writer. It's like I wish I could find the original article, but it's like one of those things where it is fucking ridiculous how bad it is. Like once I saw the numbers, I was like, holy shit. Because like, you know, there's like an idea among a lot of liberals. It's like, oh, New York Times is like so fucking chill and all that. You're like, they're so good. It's like, no, they're not. They're fucking garbage.
So a acquaintance of mine posted a meme that said, "Ever
Wouldn't
noticed?"
it be an acquaintance?
Fuck off. What are you correcting my language, sir? How do you spell color? How do you spell favor? All right. Okay.
With an E.
Okay, Rob, you're now the victim of the chopsticks. I've taken your nose.
So this is the meme that this acquaintance posted. Ever notice how dogs only come in male and female, and cutting the balls off doesn't make it female? To which, of course, I replied, I can see how this is equivalent if you're only as complex and evolved as a dog. What the fuck? What? Why are you comparing people to dogs? Also, the dogs don't get to determine their gender. It's not like they're having a conversation about it. Like, you know, like I identify more as a bitch. You know? It's a weird. It's a false equivalency is like the biggest and most common problem.
Yeah, and the fact that like we're just like because it's one of those situations like where you try to call it out and then you get dragged into a fucking comment war for hours, and it's just like
oh my
not.
God, I know.
Like it's one of those situations where it's like in most cases I don't even like bother commenting and calling shit out because I'm like it's not worth the effort. Because like I'm not going to change their mind, and it's just fucking exhausting.
Yeah, so this other person replies, it says, dogs have dreams too. They just don't tell everyone there's no choice but to be a part of them. Which I don't get that. I don't know what it means. I said, I agree. I can't imagine a world where I'd be forced to be a gender I didn't feel like I was. I also can't imagine a world where I cared so much about how other people identified. What the fuck is wrong? Why can't you just leave people alone?
Exactly. Like it's one of the situations where, you know, like I do think like there is a case where we can have a discussion about like, you know, like minors having like what the extent like minors should be able to medically transition, right? Like that's a genuine discussion. But like
Right.
just wanting to block all gender affirming care for everyone is fucking a non-starter. Wanting to block gender affirming therapy for minors is a non-fucking starter. Like because I think what the issue is like we're just not giving or the right doesn't want to give kids enough credit. or credit for their intelligence, because like shit, like at the end of the day, like when I look back at it, when I was 8, I definitely knew I was a girl. Did I know how to articulate it? Absolutely not. But like going back to as soon as I was 3 years old, like when I demanded like a kitchen set for my birthday present and like the yellow construction set instead of the blue, you know, it's like it's like it's all like these little fucking stereotypical shit that like popped up, but it's like at the end of the day, it's like you can look back and like, yeah, like that was kind of a sign that, you know, something may have been up. Yeah, because it's like, oh yeah, like, you know, we need to protect kids. It's like, and kids are able to make their own fucking decisions too, whenever it comes to like their own bodies and like gender, especially. Like you can figure out, like you can figure out who you are. It's a very fucking innate thing, and I did see what we said there too.
It absolutely is an innate thing. And I had this conversation actually earlier at work about how I raised my kids with completely gender neutral toys. Could buy, you know, dolls or car, you know, I mean, it was all very gender neutral stuff. My daughter very much took to pink and glitter and very girly things just naturally without any outside influence to bring her to that. Right.
Yeah.
And if a boy does that same thing, I don't see why we have to force him into playing with cars and trucks and whatever, GI Joes, you know.
Yeah, because like it's one of those situations where it's like, you know, people are gonna like what they're gonna like, and like you can be like the most high femme bitch in the world and still like guns and cars. You know, but at the same time too, is like, do I also like fucking love like some of the stereotypical girl shit? Absolutely. Like being in the fucking, you know, in the bathroom and just being like, oh my god, like you're like the most beautiful girl I've ever met in my life. You should not be crying over it, man. Like the drunk girl conversations that we have in bathrooms are very fucking real. It's fantastic. I've made more best friends than I can count on 2 hands and 2 feet in the bathroom whenever I've been drunk, that I don't remember the names to.
I would argue that all toys are gender neutral. It's just that we don't see them as that, by the way, Rob.
You're right. But I've always enjoyed saying Legos are gender neutral.
Well, they
I hate it when people try to lump them into, you know, like boy toys or whatever. It's like, it's just building blocks. Fuck. Well, it's not anymore. Have you been to the Lego store? I know you have.
Of course. Well, you know, Nicole.
But it used to be building blocks.
To this point, Wade just said sad girl conversations are amazingly deep. That's so true.
Yeah, it really, because like I can honestly say that.
Sorry, we're bouncing around.
No, you're totally fine. But, like, the one thing I will say,
always,
like, some of the most in-depth and frankly, like, most important conversations I have ever had have been with my girlfriends. Like, whenever we've been drunk, you know, or sad, especially both. Yeah, because like that's like really, especially like whenever you're like in that perfect middle ground, like slightly tipsy, where you're like you can speak openly about stuff without really thinking about it. Like that's like one of the things where because at least for me personally, like that's like when I really just like down the very fucking depths of everything, and like that's like in a lot of cases the best way I'm able to get out of get through shit, just by having like those sad conversations with my friends.
Mm-hmm.
They're hard conversations, but they're very important conversations to have.
That's a good question, Natalie, and we didn't really direct her towards any particular source of media. So we only streamed anything. So the kid got to pick what she wanted to watch. Well, now that I identify as a bitch, I feel like I'm qualified now.
I'll allow it.
Don't be a gatekeeper, Talia. Oh,
you shall not pass.
All right, gang. I think it's time to wrap it up for
I think so too. It's been a good long stream. I'm going to definitely hit the hay though, because I'm fucking exhausted.
Yeah,
'Cause I
thank
think
you all
I
for.
have to work 12 hours tomorrow.
God, you poor soul. I
Don't
honestly feel
sound
bad for you.
excited.
I don't. It's the first. I've been working 60-hour weeks lately to get things ready for this stupid Dubai trip. So, I'll see you next Friday, everyone.
Yep. See you next Friday.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
See.
Until then, Rob,
Later.
do you want to do the outro?
Hit the music.
You already know how.
Oh, right. Hang on a minute. I do.
I learned you.
You learned me good.
Corbin, I put on pants today.
I'm so proud.
I mean, I put on sweatpants. I
I
guess
put on leggings. Does that count?
I'm not talking to you people.
Didn't matter when they sold the devil guns. Didn't matter when they played us strike. Didn't matter when they stole your mother's sons. Now everyone's out of their mind. You pay for the rich and the bullshit. These unemployment lines. Don't know the casual to the corporate crimes. To the revolution, what is all no peace of mind. You live on the matter and the one who's born better than your grandkids here to joy. When you watch them, their reaction to every little inconvenient soul. Still the public is metamorphosis. Threat to the status quo.
Reflections. We don't make mistakes. We have happy accidents. Just don't worry about it. Learn how to use what